Another week.
We earn opportunity for another week, you feel me?
No doubt.
There's no feeling better in the world than being able to have that name etched in stone forever, that confetti falling. One day at a time,
one day at a time, one play at a time, 1 second at a time.
Exactly.
Let's break it down.
Come on
Let's
now.
go.
Diamond make it business.
Hey,
We gotta go get it.
Come on.
So the Ravens advanced to play another week, defeating the Houston Texans 34-10 behind Lamar Jackson's 4 total TDs, 2 in the air, 2 on the ground. The Houston Texans offense was held to 3 points only, scoring on a punt return. The Ravens will host the AFC title game for the first time this Sunday in Ravens history. How y'all feeling?
We talked about it. We feel amazing. I mean, it's a good feeling. I guess it's like the players. I mean, you know, as a fan, you celebrate it, whatever. But then you know that the 2-time Super Bowl champion coming to town, former league MVP coming to town. So now I guess it's back to business. You enjoy it for the 24 hours. You happy. You know, literally everything we talked about on Friday came true. Like, you know, we talked about the defense, what the defense had to do to keep them in the game early, which they did. We talked about the offense eventually knocking off the rust. You know, first half was really, really rusty. And Brian said a good defensive plan. The second half, you know, they knocked for the rust, and they look like the Ravens team that they looked like all this year. So you definitely are happy. You definitely are excited that you get to host an AFC Championship game at home, like you said, for the first time in the Ravens history. But now it's back to business. Like I said, we'll talk more about the, you know, get into the details and the Chief Ravens games on Friday. But you know, it's back to business. It's not going to be just like we said. Houston wasn't going to be no cakewalk. They're going to make it tough. This the ultimate test. You got to defend it. You like I think I test keep. You want to be the best. You have to beat the best. And this is the biggest test. This is the biggest test you're going to have. This is the biggest test that Lamar Jackson has ever had. You got Pat Mahomes coming into your house for the right to go to the Super Bowl. You can't ask for more. You beat them. You go to the Super Bowl. You really can't ask for more. You're gonna have to be dialed in. They going from it ain't gonna be. There's no chance to knock on rust in this game. There's no chance for none of that in this game. You got to come out firing on all cylinders. It's gonna be a tough task. Like I said, you're excited about the opportunity. This is what you played all year for. This is why you had a number 1 seed, so you don't have to go to Kansas City. This is why they got to come here. They have to come to Baltimore and beat you at home in order to go to Super Bowl, and you defend home field. Like you went, like we talked about on Friday, you went 2 home games during the Super Bowl. You did the first part. Now it's time to do the second part. It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity. And like you said, my message for everybody is you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. I know we talked about, you know, the Bills defense and you wasn't Josh Allen or whatever, but this is the test that you want. This is the test that you have to pass. And like you said, you got to go through the defending Super Bowl. It was, I think, in the back of our minds, even Nick said it Friday, as far as Pat Mahomes, I think in the back of our mind, we all knew it was going to have to go through Pat Mahomes to the Super Bowl. And here we are.
Yeah, one thing about Pat Mahomes, man, he's inevitable, right? So the only people that have gotten past the albatross that is Mahomes and the Chiefs is Tom Brady. So we talking about GOAT on GOAT. You know, he's had the AFC locked down. So this is going to be the biggest challenge of our season. You know, we had some challenges in the regular season, but nothing compares to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, he's tried and true. Usually talking about 6 straight AFC championships. That's unheard of. So, you know, this is the test and I love it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of thing when Lamar's narrative is written, this is the chapter that's going to be one of the most important. You know, these battles between the greatest in the AFC, these battles between the other great quarterbacks in the league, you know, he has to have this chapter in his story as he writes his legacy. But going back to the Texans game, man, that shit was magical, man. Yes, we did have a little bit of rust. Never felt like the game got out of hand, or I never was worried per se. You know, I didn't think that special teams touchdown the Texans had, you know, that didn't put any fear in my heart. I just thought it was a miscommunication and a lack of execution on that side of the football as far as special teams. But, you know, them not being able to move the ball consistently, stall drives, the punts, that really had me feeling good. Now, as far as the offense, we all knew it was going to be some rust. We all knew that there was going to take some time to adjust, and it looked like we were feeling them out. And one thing I do like about this year's Ravens team and this year's staff is we don't just come in with a game plan and stick to it no matter what. In years past with Greg Roman, we would either stick to the game plan no matter what too long, or we would pivot way too quickly and way too drastically. So we get down 10 points and all of a sudden we'll stop running the ball. Or if you see something in first half, come second half, we won't act on what we see. We'll just continue doing the same old. So this year on both sides of the football, we don't see much of that. The Texans blitzed about 75% of the snaps. And in the first half, we saw that our quick hitters, albeit they were few and far between, we saw that our quick hitters were most effective. So what do we do coming out the half? Do more quick hitters. We slid the protection a little bit and changed the protection scheme a little bit, and was able to get the ball out to our receivers and running backs quickly. And that was the difference in the game. We were able to sustain drives. We were able to gash them. And then we started putting points on the board. And then also in the second half, we saw somebody who didn't want to lose a football game. We saw a man possessed. Remember all season, Lamar kind of was picking his spots, running. No, it was none of that this game. If he saw a lane, he took it. And that's what makes him dangerous, especially in this setting, especially when it's win or go home, you versus me. Lamar is liable to do anything in that scenario. You know what I mean? Like when he knows he has to get a first down or he knows that his team needs a lift, he's going to use those legs. And when he does that, man, it's really dangerous. And, I just want to give a kudos out to Lamar because everybody always got a narrative. Nobody can even watch football and enjoy the shit no more, or sports in general. It always got to be some bullshit. If he lost this game, it didn't make him any less great, right? Or if he loses, it don't make him any less great. I just hope for his sake that he has the opportunity, and which he will. But I just hope for his sake that he has a chance to play for the Super Bowl. And uses that chance and gets there. And then once we get there, I like our chances. I've told a couple people this, and I might be looking too far ahead, but I'm thinking next week is the Super Bowl, in my opinion. 49ers, I do think in a neutral site that they're going to be tough, but I've already seen us wax their ass. I've seen that. And you talking about Debo's injured now? I mean, bring it on. And you talking about the Detroit Lions? Listen, we always there at that game. All right, don't talk to me about no motherfucking Detroit Lions. I bang with Detroit, but don't talk to me about the Lions. I don't care about no neutral field. I don't care about no Jared Goff. I don't care about none of them. I saw that in real life. Ain't no way, homie. Ain't no way they gonna beat us. So we can get past Mahomes. I like our chances, baby. It's up.
To piggyback on your point about the adjustments they made and going back to plays, they ran that Lamar Nicky boot 3 times. If it's working, keep going back to it. It's things in the past where we've seen the screen pass work with Greg Roman, and we run it first. We run it with Justice Hill, or a screen pass Justice Hill, pick up 15 yards. We don't see it for the whole rest of the game. So it was good to see them pick up that 4th down on that Nicky boot. Then it's good to see them run it again for the touchdown and get Ronnie Stanley out front. It's good things. Like you said before in the Dolphins game, Dockley coming across the screen. They ran that same exact play with Nelson Aguilar yesterday. They just switched out the personnel. It's like I said, it's a copycat league, and you can copy yourself. If shit work, keep going back to it. Obviously, it worked 2 times against the Dolphins, and it worked again Saturday against the Texans. Like, keep going back to it. Shout out to Moncton, man. He be in his bag. He definitely be in his bag. I fear that the Ravens may lose him, especially if he keep on with these type of offensive performances. But he be joining it up, and I'm glad that was the hire. I'm glad that, like you said, in the beginning of the year, they had the training wheels on, and lately, last couple weeks of the season, they took them off. And like, to your point, like, Lamar did not want to lose the game. We ain't seen him run like that all year. And he just taken off, and he completely put that team on his back. Defense played what they had to do. Defense played outstanding. Like they was lights out. They was lights out. Yeah. But when you look at what Lamar did, man, he is a reason why he's about to be a 2-time MVP. And you look at games yesterday, he really should be unanimous MVP. Nobody else can do what Lamar did. It's simple as that. Nobody else can do what he did yesterday. On Saturday. It was impressive to see. It was.
While we on, let's hear what Lamar had to say about
a lot, for your OC to, trusting you to be out there and point our team in a great situation. That's all I need, and we gonna go from there.
2 more.
Yeah, you can see the trust there, man. You can see it. You can see it on the field. You can see him just changing the protections or whatever. Like you can see it. And the scary thing about Lamar is Lamar still has room to grow as a passer. He still has room to grow to get on time with his receivers and hit them receivers at the top of that route when he come out that route. He still got room to grow. And he's still, to me, he's still raw as a passer, and he's still doing what he has to do. He's still leading his team to the best record in the NFL. And like I said, it's just you got to beat Mahomes. This is what legacies are made of. You have to beat the GOATs. That's what happens.
Have you noticed those arms? Did you see those arms? That weight room, boy, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, listen, man, with Monken and something Des Bryant said recently, I thought was telling. He said, you know, with his time with the Ravens, he felt like Lamar wasn't being coached right. He felt like Lamar wasn't being challenged, like they was babying him. And you know, we all said the same thing with Greg Roman. You know what I mean? All those
He was at the end of the runs.
Yeah, man. So you know, everybody knew the same thing. All you had to do, and then one thing he did say about Monken is Monken learned Lamar and then built around Lamar's skill set and gave him that ability to check at the line. Bro, we talking about things that a rookie is allowed to do. We talking about Lamar wasn't allowed to do that after a unanimous MVP. You know what I mean? We walking up to the line with 5 seconds left. Like, we haven't seen any of that all season. Lamar is able to check at the line. He's able to make his audibles. He has input. So when he comes into the locker room yelling and cursing, saying, yo, we need to do more quick hitters. Guess what they do coming out of halftime? They do more quick hitters. Like, he didn't have that autonomy in the past. And now it makes us 1,000 times more dangerous because, Greg, you weren't the one out there. Lamar's the one out there. You know what I mean? So he's saying it for himself, and he knows what's best. Now, will it always work? No. You know, that's execution, and, you know, you can't win every game, but shit, it seemed like every game this year we've had a great chance to win, and that gives me solace too, knowing that we've been in every game we played this season. Every single game. We've never had a game in which I felt like, dang, like we just don't have a chance. Mostly, I think almost every game we went into the fourth quarter with a lead.
Or within one score.
Yeah, I think they said we've had the lead in like almost every game in the last few minutes of the game.
I like our chance.
You spoke about autonomy, Nick. Lamar's leadership has been on front page. He talked about that Saturday night.
It'd be inappropriate if I said it right here. It would, you know. But yeah, we wasn't really doing anything, you know, to that defense. They was playing great, and that offense was playing great as well. But we wasn't doing our job, you know, with our unit. In second half, we went to putting points on the board, start moving the ball, moving the chains, and start looking like ourselves.
Lamar, take us through.
Yeah, you talk about accountability. His leadership has been very noticeable this year compared to 2019. What's your thoughts on that and how they came out after halftime and after hearing Lamar really dug in that ass?
Yeah, I mean, you could see it though before you could see that him walking to the half before everybody. You know, you saw the cameras cut to him. If they was taking the Texans was kneeling down. And Lamar was already halfway to the locker room. You could tell he was pissed off.
Oh, he was waiting for him.
Yeah,
he was pissed with Ronnie Stanley. It was that run early.
Yeah, you can tell he was pissed off because even though you know the rust was there, the plays were still there to be made in the first half. They just didn't make them. And I think that was the point. Like the plays are there. We know who we are. Let's go make these plays. And like you said, they came out. First play out the second half, they threw a 4-3 yard out to Justice Hill, and it was go time. They adjusted. They made the adjustments. Defensively, they made the adjustments, and it was go time. I like our chances with Lamar at the helm. I really do. I'm feeling more confident than I ever have. I don't want to be overconfident because, like you said, it's Mahomes coming to town. I'm not going to not give Pat Mahomes a chance. Like that's just not going to happen. But I like our chance. I've been liking our chances since that Detroit game. Honestly, that opened my eyes up a lot.
Yeah, man. One thing I'm looking forward to seeing this week. Mark Andrews was practicing in full last week. He just didn't get the clearance. So I'm thinking, you know, this week might be the week he's ready to go. My I don't want to say concern, but one thing I do want to look into is to see how we can both incorporate Mark and Isaiah. And you know, when you have two or three tight ends on the field, they like to use Ricard as an extra blocker sometimes too. But when you have tight ends, multiple tight ends on the field, you got to take a receiver off. Not the worst thing in the world, especially when likely is mossing people weekly. But you know, we have to figure out the right cadence for that.
Charlie has been playing well, man.
Charlie's been playing well.
He's playing well.
So I mean, it's an abundance of riches. It's a good problem to have. But, we've had a real chemistry with Isaiah. Isaiah, Lamar was through a pick, and Isaiah was like, I need you to throw it up. I need you to throw up. Next opportunity Lamar had to get him the ball in that same type of situation, he threw it up, and Isaiah made a play. It seems like anytime you just give Isaiah an opportunity to make a play, he comes down with the ball, and that's important because that's a trust builder, right? That's the reason he keeps getting the ball in those situations. I think he's had in the last 6 or 7 games, he has like 6 touchdowns. Like he's consistently getting these red zone look. He's consistently getting these 50-50 jump ball opportunities because he makes Lamar look good. Even when Lamar might be wrong. Lamar might be throwing in double coverage on the run. So what? You know what I mean? Like Isaiah makes plays. So I would love to see how we can both incorporate an all-pro Mark Andrews, not to disrespect Mark because Mark is Mark. But he's arriving, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was well documented. Lamar Jackson only had 1 playoff win coming into this game. This is what Lamar had to say about the noise.
You're having 1 playoff win over the course of your career. Have you heard that? Did it motivate you?
You know I heard that.
What's that?
You know I heard that. I seen it. I don't even got to hear it. I see it, But it is what it is. I really don't care about what people say. I'm trying to win day in, day out. Every time I'm on that field, I'm trying to play to the best of my ability. Those guys just had our team number in the past, but it's a different team, like I've been saying, and we just got to stay locked in on what's ahead of us.
I mean, now that he's got that second playoff win, is it the pressure's off? He's playing for house money, or?
Nah, because if he loses next week, the question all winter and spring and summer is, can Lamar Jackson lead the Ravens to a Super Bowl? It's going to be the same question repeated because everybody's about engagement and clicks and controversy and dumb shit. Like it should be ridiculous. But again, he loses next week. He's still great. He's still a legend. The fuck you talking about? But you know what I mean? It don't take the pressure off. It don't take the pressure off till he hoisting that trophy. He telling everybody to shut up now. I can't wait till we win and he get into people. He start talking his junk. I can't wait. Because he deserves it. He deserves it,
man. We definitely remember. I think I talked about it Friday. If you could come in and you could pressure CJ Stroud 20 plus times, for me, that was the magic number. It was going to be a long day. They ended up pressuring him 27 times, the same amount they did in the week 1 matchup. Didn't sack him, but the pressures were enough to just you made him look like a rookie finally on Saturday night. That intentional grounding, that told me all I needed to know. He was just at some point he was seeing ghosts. And so that defense has been lights out. I've been on Mike McDonald probably since October, but he's risen to the occasion in every aspect. P. Queen has something interesting to say about the fans in the stadium, and to me, it was real loud.
Yeah, it got loud. It got loud quite a few times. You can see they had some false starts here and there. That's how we need the bank. We need it rocking like that every time.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the same thing this Sunday. Like, the bank's going to have to be rocking. You got to have to get the crowd involved. Going to have to get pressure on Mahomes. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's first time in history Baltimore hosts the AFC title game, and I'm excited, man.
Before we get off this, I wanted to definitely give kudos to D'Amico Ryans, CJ Stroud, and the Texans. Y'all ran into a buzzsaw. It wasn't y'all fault. It's us. Sorry. Right. It wasn't y'all fault, but kudos to a great season, a great start to the rebuild. I mean, it's not even a rebuild anymore. At this point, now you're talking contention. Now you're talking about how do we put more pieces around CJ so he don't have to put everything on his shoulders. You get Tank Dell back. You can add to that next season. You can, revamp that offensive line, add some more pieces on defense. This is just the beginning for him. And I loved how Lamar kind of big broed him after the game and said, yo, listen to me. You'll be back here. Don't you worry. Because Lamar's been in this situation before. Lamar has had to feel the sting of defeat. And, it's not a fun feeling, but at the same token, I definitely appreciated that moment between Lamar and CJ.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a team that was only expected to come in. I think the over-under at the beginning of the year was like 4.5 wins.
Yeah.
To surpass that, to get a playoff win, we've been saying that we thought this would be Jacksonville's division for the next 2-3 years, but that's shut down now. That's dead. This is Houston's division. Indianapolis is right up there. And so the ties have shifted quick, and that's kudos to D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud and the culture that they're building. Derek Stingley in that secondary, Will Anderson, like they got a lot of tough young guns, And trust me, this won't be their last time that they're in this situation. They'll be back. I believe
Yeah,
that.
we'll see him next year. First place teams. We'll see him next year again. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Damn,
so
Trevor. Damn, Trevor.
yeah. It flipped quick for Sunshine.